Hey, this Judgment Awaits, aka James. How in the world are you guys doing today? Man, looking at my watch, it is December 22nd. We've got 3 days to go before Christmas is here. Are you guys stressing? Man, I hope that you're not. Seems like, though, a lot of people around this time of year are stressing. They've got the financial issues with Christmas. You know, can I get these gifts? Am I going to be able to pay for these gifts? You've also got the family issues. You know, this person wants you to come to their house on Christmas Eve, and this person wants you to come on their house. You know, whose side do you please? You know, are there going to be fights and everything like that? Hopefully, you're not dealing with any of that. But if you are, I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about that stress. Me personally, I'm not dealing with the Christmas stress. We've kind of simplified a lot of things, so that's not really getting on to me, but I am dealing with some stress, and I kind of wanted to share some things that I'm going through. Man, I've got this work situation. Normally this time of the year is a pretty slow time for me work-wise, but there are some projects that are going on that are huge. Plus, you know, my office went from 3 people to like 1 1/3 people, so I've got some added stress or added things piled onto me, and they're like, hey, we want you to do this. We're not going to give you any overtime or anything like that. So do your normal job and all this other stuff. So, you know, that's kind of hitting me. Plus, I've got a side project that I'm working on, something that's kind of causing me some stress. But most of all, I've got this personal issue that is really causing me a lot of stress. And I tell you what, it's one of those things, like when I think about it, I literally get sick to my stomach, and that sick to my stomach feeling just kind of lasts and lasts and lasts. You know, just even earlier too, I was thinking about this thing, and it was almost like taking my breath away. I was having a hard time breathing. You know, I don't know if I'm having a panic attack or what, but you know, it's just kind of some real stress around me right now. And I don't know if that's you or if you're dealing with that. You know, I want to encourage you though. In the past, I used to, when I would experience things like this, I'd turn to things like cigarettes. You know, I'd just go out and have a smoke, you know, and that would put me at ease a little bit. Or, you know, I'd turn on the TV. That was a big one for me, because I could just escape and I wouldn't have to think about it. Or I'd go play some video games. You know, I think that's how I handle it. And I think that's how a lot of people handle things today. They turn to drugs, or they turn to drinking, or they turn to something. You know, here's the thing though, with that sort of thing, when you turn to something like that, it only temporarily takes the stress away from you. As soon as that cigarette wears off, as soon as that beer wears off, you know, you're right back having to deal with that same issue, you know. But I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about how I deal with stress nowadays. And I hope you guys tune in and don't tune me out and don't just click off this video when I start talking about God. But, you know, I was reminded of something from my pastor in a sermon today, and he was talking about Mary and Martha. All right, here's these 2 ladies. Jesus comes over to their house. Mary sits down at Jesus's feet. All right, Martha, on the other hand, she's the worrier. She's making sure the house is all ready, the food's all ready, so she's running around. And she sees her sister just sitting down there, and she gets frustrated, and she goes up to Jesus, and she's like, you know, don't you see all this stuff I'm doing? Tell my sister to help me out. And Jesus says, you know, Martha, I see that you're stressing out, but Mary has chosen the better thing. All right. And I tell you what, you know, it's so simple, but it's true. The times in my life where I get stressed out, as soon as I go to God and I put things in His hands and I sit down at His feet, man, that stress leaves. And I tell you what, I experience this peace. It's a peace that I can't even describe. It's a peace that only comes from knowing Jesus Christ though. You know, a few months back, Wings of Redemption came to my channel. I tell you what, he actually was one of the few people, or the first people, that I would watch on YouTube. It was him, Hutch, Sean Anders. Man, I loved watching their stuff. I watched it all the time, you know, so it was really cool to see Wings come to my channel. He watched the video, he liked it. It was a really bad video though, so he was very gracious in liking that video. But then he watched a couple of the other videos that I had where I talked about God, and he posted something and he said, the one thing you're doing wrong as a Christian is telling people about God. If people want to believe, allow them to find their own way. I do not believe in God, but that's my choice. Now, first of all, let me say this, you know, I totally respect everybody's choice, and I believe everybody needs to make a choice, and whatever choice you choose, I'm going to respect that. But I don't understand why it's not okay to tell people about what I believe and why I believe. You know, I see you, Wings, talking about and telling people why you don't believe in God and putting that out there. So why is it not okay for me to do that? You know, I kind of want to challenge you though, you know, and I kind of want to challenge everybody that doesn't believe in Jesus Christ. You know, do you have peace in your life? Because I tell you what, when I didn't have Jesus Christ in my life, I did not have that peace in there. And since then, I have this peace that, like I said, I can't even explain. It just goes beyond anything that I've ever experienced in my life. So for me, that's proof that God does exist. And I don't want to get into a debate, about proving this, but, think about that. Look at all these stars who have everything, money, wealth, fame, and everything like that, and they go on to commit suicide or something like that. I think they're lacking this one thing, and namely that is peace. So for me, I've experienced this peace. I want to tell other people about it. If you guys choose to accept what I say, that's great. If you guys totally reject what I say, that's your choice. I'm not going to think bad about you or think anything of you, but I just want you guys to think about it. Do you have peace in your life? We're getting ready to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, and I hope that there is a God who loves you, a God who died for you, and a God that wants to have a relationship with you. And I tell you what, if you're dealing with stress, I want to really encourage you to just get down on your knees at the feet of Jesus Christ and turn things over to him. Now, I don't believe God just takes away all your problems and makes everything rosy for you. I see a lot of teenagers, they would actually pray for an A in their class or pray to help to pass a test, but they would never actually study. Here's the thing. I think we need to handle what we can handle. We need to take care of business and handle and be responsible and do things on our own end. But the things that are out of our control, lay those things down at his feet and just entrust those things to him. That's faith. No matter what happens, trust him with those things. Now, if you're not a Christian, man, thanks for giving me the opportunity to share with you. Whatever, you can reject or accept what I have to say. I just want to say thank you for showing me that respect. If you are a Christian and you're stressed out around this time, man, simplify. Get back to the basics. Focus on what is more important at this time. I grew up in a very poor household. I mean, my parents made me Christmas gifts, and I tell you what, at the time, I really resented that. I wish I had some of the other things that people had, but I tell you what, there was a time when my dad left and my parents got divorced when I was a kid, and I tell you what, I would have given anything to just have my dad back in my life. So tell you what, looking back now, I know what's truly important, and the time you spend with your kids is more important than any gift that you could ever give them. So get back to the real meaning of Christmas. But guys, as always, take care and God bless.